Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 9:02 a.m. and you are listening to and watching Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And before I go any further, I want to say to that lovely car full of friends who saw me just now crossing the street on Galena by Aurora Fast Print, good morning to you. You know that. Coming here to get the news ready for you guys from one meeting to another. Today, I am joined by a friend, Hayley Williams, of the Primrose School of East Aurora. Hayley and I first met, was it last year, right?
Yes.
Last year at the,
at the end of summer.
The end of summer, that's right. At the Chambers Golf Classic at that time, which is at the Aurora Country Club.
Yes.
That was awesome. Yep.
Yes.
How do you feel today on this great Wednesday morning?
I am very excited.
Okay.
I am so excited to be here and speaking with you, Curtis, and having this opportunity to wake up with Aurora.
Absolutely. So before we get into, the Primrose School of East Aurora, I kind of want to set the tone here. Like, education is really big, and getting all students, acclimated to a positive experience is very important. We've had a discussion just this week with the Superintendent East Aurora. So I just want to say that, like, for our listeners and viewers and just talking to you, it's really good to have even more educational information to share with people in the morning. So appreciate it.
Absolutely,
Yep.
yes.
But Hayley, starting off, like, where are you from?
I am from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
yes,
Shout out Green Bay.
Yes, that's right. Go Packers.
Wisconsin's a nice place.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it is.
I've been to Madison and Fond du Lac.
Okay,
Fond du
yes,
Lac, right?
yes, correct,
Yeah, great
yes,
places.
yes,
Now I'm going to read a little bit about the Primrose School of East Aurora here. Okay.
Okay.
And for anyone interested, primroseschools.com is the website. Our school is more than a daycare. Through purposeful play and nurturing guidance, we help lay the foundation for a lifelong love of learning. Right down the road from Gwendolyn Brooks Elementary and Young Elementary School, we're conveniently located on North Aurora Road. Come by and see balanced learning in action. What's balanced learning? Let's start there.
Yes, that's a great question. And balanced learning is something that is our approach at Primrose School of East Aurora, and Primrose is across the country. Our balanced learning approach, it balances that purposeful play that you just talked about with that nurturing guidance to encourage curiosity, compassion, confidence, and creativity in our students. And it's about balancing, it's a STEAM-based curriculum, but we also balance the character and life-building skills in our students as well. So we have 12 Primrose friends, and they are affectionately our puppets, and they each represent a different character trait, such as courage, respect, citizenship, and we infuse that into our curriculum as well to teach students, it's not just about what they learn, but it's who they become as well.
Not about what they learn, but who they become. Interesting.
Yes, so we want them to go out and be good citizens, good friends, good people in the world.
Right.
And we also, want to create that nurturing guidance too, and that strong educational foundation.
Right. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I think just, thinking back on my own personal educational experience, it seems like, passing the test and making out the class has always just been the thing.
Right.
Kind of just the baseline.
Right.
What you become after graduation is what you become.
Right.
To hear that that's kind of the focus now up front as opposed to the latter is pretty interesting.
Right. Absolutely. And we've spent a lot of time focusing and inspiring that lifelong love of learning too that you talked about. Our teachers are every interaction they have with our students is purposeful and nurturing too, to create that environment where they feel excited to learn, to inspire that lifelong love of learning too, that, learning can be fun too. And we start as young as 6 weeks at our school.
Really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Now, what's the history of Primrose Schools?
Yes, so Primrose Schools has been around for more than 40 years.
Okay.
It was founded in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's one of the strongest, or that's where it continues to be headquartered today. So there's a number of Primrose schools down there. This is the 9th one in the Chicago market, but it was founded by Paul and Marcy Irwin. And my husband and I, as owners here of the school in East Aurora, I find a lot of similarities with Paul and Marcy Irwin. They wanted to find care for their children. That started kind of what inspired them. that the schools that they found in the area at the time, they want to feel good about where they leave their children.
Right.
They want to feel comfortable, to have that peace of mind to go out and pursue their professional endeavors too, and be able to know that their children are being cared for and loved, and also that they're growing as individuals and as students.
Right.
And so that's kind of what started Primrose.
Interesting. And you said this is the 9th school in the Chicago
Correct.
market.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And there's more than 500 Primroses across the country today.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
Yes.
amazing. Where are some of the other ones in the Chicagoland area?
There is South Elgin, Naperville, Plainfield, Winfield, Long Grove, Carroll Stream,
Okay.
Algonquin.
Very cool.
Yes.
So spread out.
Yes.
Long Grove, Illinois?
Yes.
I've been alive a long time. I never knew there was a Long Grove, Illinois until just hearing that right now. It's amazing. I guess you never stop learning, right?
That's right. Yes. Yes.
We teach geography at Primrose. How about that?
Right. Yes.
I want to read a little bit more, because as I was kind of perusing through things in preparation for this stuck out to me as well. Every moment matters. The components of our balanced learning approach are intentionally aligned to create developmentally appropriate learning experiences. Let's pick apart that a little bit. Developmentally appropriate learning experience. It would seem, kind of on the outside looking in, that what that means is that, for your stage of development, the experience is tailored to that, not to be too much, not to be too overwhelming. Is that an accurate way to?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, our school, we start as young as 6 weeks and we go through pre-K. So we have students who are 6 weeks and up to 5. So it is tailored to each where each individual is, whether they're 1, 2, 3, or 4. But what's consistent is all of our interactions from the teachers and as a whole in the leadership team, that they're all we really focus on those relationships and really providing that one-to-one. We do a balance. Going back, balance is kind of the key word at Primrose, but we do a balance between small group activity and then the larger classroom too. So we have those intimate one-to-one or 1 to 2 or 3 times where our teachers are sitting down with the individual student and making sure that we're providing the right support and making sure that they're being challenged as well. So it really is that that focus on the individual student as well.
Interesting. Next part. Your child will stay engaged all day with the right balance of child-initiated and teacher-guided learning experience. So it does seem that there's some autonomy as well for the youth to create educational programs. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. We, there is that independent play too, and where they have the opportunity to choose those, we call them children's choice learning centers, that they have opportunities throughout the day to choose which center that they want to go to be kind of in control of their own learning too, and it helps inspire that dynamic thinking. And then our teachers are going over and asking those critical questions too, to really engage their learning. But when they get to choose what they want to learn, that helps inspire that love of learning too. It makes it fun.
What do they choose?
So we have like dramatic play areas where that might be a kitchen where they're grilling or cooking, or we have dress-up costumes. We also have block areas and puzzles and a library too, so they might choose to go sit and read a book or look at the pictures.
Okay. Yeah. Book reading and libraries were always kind of my jam.
Yes.
I'd always, back when I was young enough to do that, I'd go to any other part of the classroom where it was quiet, chill out and read.
Yes.
I always like my own kind of space.
Yes.
Next bullet point is, our students learn the foundational skills to develop active minds, healthy bodies, and happy hearts that will forge a path to a brighter future. Active minds, healthy bodies, and happy hearts. Let's unpack that a little bit. Sounds self-explanatory, but what's its genesis in Primrose?
Yeah, absolutely. So that active minds, our curriculum is engaging and stimulating, and then to get that mind going. And then our healthy bodies, we have a wonderful chef at our school, and we have our balanced menu. So every single meal is providing the right nourishment for our students, those nutrients, and in a fun way too, that gets them trying new foods as well. So providing that balanced diet for them. We also do our thumbs up activity outside, so that gets them moving and those locomotive skills, throwing the ball, running, skipping, and the happy heart that comes back to those 12 Primrose friends I mentioned too, that we incorporate those, that, we're talking about being good friends and, being good friends, and also being on the receiving end of that too, having those strong friendships and relationships too, that they have, that happy heart too. We want them to be happy and feel loved and supported.
What's the thumbs up?
The thumbs up activity, Mia the mouse is one of our Primrose friends, and so that
I'll never forget that now.
when we go outside, we call it our thumbs up time, and we have a beautiful area out on the side and the back of our school as well. And so that thumbs up activity is when we get them moving and running, and it looks different each day. Some days it might be an obstacle course.
Okay.
Some days it might be throwing a beanbag, overhand, practicing those underhand skills as well through a hula hoop.
Okay.
So that's really,
challenging enough for a young person. Yep. That reward is big when you do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was at East Aurora's kind of like Discovery Day. They had a bunch of stuff set up, and they had a beanbag toss with it was like a snowman with the 3 holes.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
No, and it looks like, it might not be too hard.
Right.
But yes.
I got long arms. I'm like, oh, this will be, I missed all 3.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Very embarrassing because all the children were around like, aha. It was pretty funny. 9:13 is the time. With everything that we're talking about, my next question is, what was either seen as lacking or perhaps wasn't providing the full experience for a young person that kind of started the identification that these things are missing and need to be in the school system? I know this idea was created in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. What are just some of the things that that experience was lacking? I mean, kids go to school and they get food. Kids go to school and they have a classroom setting, but let's talk about what was missing to start a Primrose school.
Yeah, and I think it's that, there were schools that provided these things, but it's also the approach, and we want to provide that premier and exceptional care from the moment you walk through the doors, that our parents, our students, our families feel welcome and loved. And it's that personal touch and providing that peace of mind to our parents, that they know, they can send their child anywhere, and there might be a curriculum, there might be things that they're learning, but also, it's about who is in the building and who's providing that care, that extra level of attention and love.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, it does feel, if your child's going to school and those things, those needs aren't met, I'm sure that would be very, very disappointing. I do know folks who homeschool. Yeah. A few families who homeschool. Okay. And I wonder, because they've reached out a little bit when we talk about options for different schooling for some of the other kids, they're getting older, kind of thinking about bringing them into the school experience. It seems like Primrose schools could be a soft entry into the public school system. Or is that a fair way to say
I think so. Yeah, that balanced approach, going back to again that it balances the play, the purposeful play, and the learning, and then you also have that social component too. And being in a classroom setting, and you're getting to know your friends and creating those relationships too, and having, all the different things, the different stimulating activity that changes out.
Okay. Do you guys have any events coming up? Any ways that people can learn more about Primrose schools in the flesh?
Yes, we just had our grand opening celebration on Sunday. We had a great turnout from the community, and we had an egg hunt and face painting and snacks, and just great to see a lot of people in the school and get to know more families. Okay. And we, I would say, be on the lookout for more events coming. We are planning some. We don't have any at this exact moment. Okay. But I would say follow our Facebook page, check our website, primroseeastaurora.com. Okay. And for more information.
All right. Now, what does the future hold for this model of schooling, in this area? And are there any opportunities for folks to franchise with you? Perhaps our listeners in other states, can they potentially learn more about Primrose and start a Primrose in their area?
Yeah, so Primrose is growing. We're excited to add more schools throughout the country here, and including the Chicago market and the Illinois area. So primroseschools.com is a great resource where there are franchising opportunities And that's how my husband and I first learned about it and got kind of inspired after learning and reading more about Primrose and the opportunities that there are as a franchise owner, I should say.
Right. All right. So let's take a look here. I'm going to read a little bit more from
Okay.
our wonderful website here, and this is about the balanced learning approach. So what this approach does, this exclusive approach, brings together the best early education wisdom with modern research and learning science to inspire curiosity, creativity, confidence, and compassion for a lifelong love of learning. All those L's are just tripping a brother up right now. Anyway, a lifelong love of learning. Modern research and learning science. What has technology shown us in the past, or over years in time? What has technology shown us that allows us, that can provide this and give us that information about what's missing? I mean, what have we seen? What does the data show about the childhood experience and education, and what has been lacking?
Yeah, so Primrose, we have an early learning advisory council, and it's made up of a number of experts in the early childhood field, early childhood education specifically. And this panel, this advisory council, they're the ones doing the research. They're, running that research and being involved in those conversations, and they are updating our curriculum to include the latest and greatest. Things change over time as new findings come out, and to prepare our students for success in today's world looks different than maybe 10, 20 years ago.
Exactly.
So it's constantly evolving, and that, that balanced learning approach, it blends a couple different early learning philosophies, including some Montessori, some Reggio Emilia, some Vygotsky, to really bring the best, what we believe the best approaches, combining all those early learning philosophies and then bringing in that those latest findings. But, Primrose has been around for over 40 years. So, the foundation has been time tested and proven to prepare our students for success. Primrose, we have a kindergarten readiness across the board of 95%. We're preparing our students. It's shown, it's proven to set them up for success in public school and their elementary years.
Very
that
well.
Next step.
Awesome. Language and literacy. Feels like we're in class, right? The early years are critical for literacy development. From sign language and story time in younger classrooms to phonics and reading and writing practice for the older ones, your child develops important literacy skills and a love of reading. Let's talk about science, engineering, and technology. Your child was born a scientist, and opportunities for early STEM experiences are all around them. Children love to observe and investigate their world, and all the while they're developing skills like observing, analyzing, and problem solving. Mathematics. Early experiences with math help children develop foundational concepts like awareness of numbers and connections between them. Our math program includes numbers, geometry, measurement, data analysis, and patterns through hands-on learning. And last is social studies. Through social studies, your child learns to understand themselves and their relationships with family and friends. They learn how they are alike or different from others, and how, as individuals, they can contribute to their community. Now, when it comes to the contribution to the community, is there any way for organizations, nonprofits, or other community partners to collaborate with Primrose School or work with Primrose?
Absolutely. Okay. Yes. And that's something that we've been open just over a month now, so we're starting to explore more of. Something that we do have is we call it an adopt a grandparent. So we've been working with a local nursing home to start a relationship and have them in the school, and having those relationships with the elderly members of the community.
Adopt
and making
a grandparent?
Sure. Yes. So we've, for Valentine's Day, we created cards for them, and looking at opportunities, maybe it's a talent show or having reading buddies in the classroom, but ways to get involved with the community.
Yeah.
And, if I would encourage any listeners, if there's a way that we might be able to get involved, we're all about being part of this community.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, I know there's this cool organization called the Neighbor Project. You might have heard of it.
Yes.
They're interested in things like that. So, as we mentioned, like to follow up and talk about that.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm going to, 9:21 is the time. We're going to talk about healthy bodies and happy hearts as well. Here's the thing, though, just kind of real quick. Now, in our present society, in our present time, I'm happy that words like balance, are being used in the classroom educational setting. I'm glad that there's a lot more focus on developing the individual as a student, not just pushing them through.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It is refreshing that people care more about how your whole day was than just did you get it right or did you get it wrong.
Right.
All of the kind of
Yes.
nuances, all of the kind of like literally human nuances that are going on during the day, especially in the life of a young person, can make or break that school experience. I mean, you could be getting all A's and you could just not like the school experience.
Right.
So hearing that these kind of things are in the forefront is refreshing. 9:22 is the time. If you are just joining us, you are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And we're here with my friend Hayley Williams, franchise owner of Primrose Schools of East Aurora. All right, let's talk about the team dedicated to supporting your child. At Primrose, your child is the priority. From the morning smile at the front desk, whoever wrote this, is a very well-written website. From the morning smile at the front desk to the snacks and meals prepared with love, and the owner of the school and the teachers in the classroom, everyone has the same goal to help build a brighter future for your child. 9:23 is the time. So what are the hours of Primrose School? Let's talk about the location again. And you guys are also on social media?
We are,
Okay.
yes. We are on Facebook right now and working on our Instagram page
Okay.
as well, launching that.
Okay.
Yes, and for the hours,
Yep.
we're open 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes, so-
What's the next 5 years look like?
Yeah, I think bringing in more students, getting to know families. That's one of my favorite parts of the role is getting to know families and children and students, and then they bring in their grandparents too and aunts and uncles. I love getting to know the families, and I think a lot of success looks like, that family bringing in other family and friends too, that word of mouth and, having that positive experience. That's what we want, to provide a positive experience for each and every student and family who comes through there. So, bringing in, getting to know cousins and aunts or neighbors.
Right.
That's, I think, what success looks like.
And how can we help you? I didn't mean to cut you off there. I'm sorry.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, I think just continuing to spread the word. We are a brand new school, so many people have not heard about us yet, and we are, this is the 9th Primrose in the area, but it's still gaining brand recognition in this area. So I think continuing to get the word out and sharing that premium experience, that differentiation that we provide.
Premium experience.
Yes.
This episode has probably this is probably the number one with the verbiage, man. This is a great episode. So as I mentioned, there was a community member who reached out, and we had posted that we were going to be interviewing you. Had asked about Primrose Schools. Hey, never heard of it before. So I hope that this interview here can suffice for all of your questions about Primrose School. But the website is primroseschools.com, and there's a very interesting statistic here. I'm going to share this. We help ensure Primrose students are ready for kindergarten by strengthening the skills they'll need for the next chapter and beyond. That's why the balanced learning curriculum features purposeful play and nurturing guidance from students. Nurturing guidance from teachers. I apologize. As a result, 97% of Primrose pre-K students demonstrated kindergarten readiness as of spring 2024. That's a great accolade. A great accolade. That's awesome. Yep. Study was conducted, and it's on the website. So what's next for you? What's next for you and Primrose? I know that events are still coming up and things are still rolling out, but we are a show full of optimism, and we look towards the future.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. So is there any way that we can come cover and show what's going on with the great Primrose Schools with
we would love
approval
to,
and everything?
Yes, we would love to have you
Okay.
come check out our school and see the learning in action, meet some of these amazing teachers and staff that I've been talking about.
Okay.
Yes, see our facility, brand new, state of the art, if I do say so myself.
Okay.
Incredible.
The ribbon cutting was impressive.
Yes.
It looked very nice, very good.
Thank
very
you.
Well done.
Yes, we had a great celebration.
Yeah. This has been and this has just been a week full of education. It really has. I think we might start doing I think we might start doing weeks.
Okay,
'Cause
like
the
themes and-
yeah,
yeah.
because since the beginning of the show, things have just kind of happened that way. Like we interviewed like one chef, and then we just got chefs for a whole week. But this has just been education week, so I think it's kind of cool. I may have to package this up and give it to you guys. It's Education Week, all educational interviews and videos from East Aurora, District 131 to Primrose Schools of East Aurora. All right, 9:27 is the time. The show ends on a positive note. What's your message today for the people of Aurora?
I would say that we're incredibly happy to be part of this community and to provide that early education and care. I would encourage people to come and check out our school and see what it's all about.
All right. Very well said. Very well said. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you with certainty that Primrose Schools of East Aurora is a good choice, a fantastic choice. And I encourage you guys to follow them once again on Facebook, Instagram.
Yep, be on the lookout for that.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. And the website is primroseschools.com. This was a fantastic episode, and get ready to see a whole lot more of Hayley Williams and Primrose Schools of East Aurora here on our platform. Right now, Good Morning Aurora is going to end, and I have to tell you guys, there will not be a Good Morning Aurora tomorrow in studio. We are going to be out there in the field. We will see some of you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8:12 a.m. So get ready for that. Be prepared and have coffee ready. Dunkin' Donuts, large. Right now, Good Morning Aurora is going to end for the day, and Buenos Dias Aurora, the second largest city's first bilingual news podcast, is going to begin. Luz has a lot to tell you guys about, including the weather report. So stay locked in for that. Get ready to see it. Take care of yourself and each other.
Being a local business in Chicago, we've always worked with community banks, but over time, those smaller banks started getting acquired by larger national footprint banks. It became time to work with Wintrust to meet our needs without having to have that big bank feel.
Wintrust understood what they wanted to accomplish, and they've increased in size 5 times over.
As we continue to grow, we're going to keep needing to borrow, so I'm sure they're going to love that.
Serving their needs. It's really the foundation of what Wintrust commercial banking is all about.
YEP gives me a lot of hope for the future, not just here locally, but as those kids go out into the world and they share their perspectives and their passions, it's going to be infectious. It's going to spread. So they're just an amazing organization that sets their partners and this community up for success. The future of this community, and honestly the country and the world, is bright with the kids that are on that YEP program, because they're going to save the world. They're doing incredible work, and to just get to know them and learn about their passions was a very fulfilling experience for me. Without the Community Foundation, it would be much more difficult for Hesed House and so many other organizations here locally to enact our mission on a daily basis.